A couple of weeks ago, I made a video that said, hey, GTA Online, right? It's a pretty great game, but it's really is starting to feel like it's going to be impossible to make feel fresh. And then 2 weeks ago, the Casino Heist came out. And that completely passed all my expectations of what we were going to get. I had a rough idea of what we could expect coming off Doomsday and the original Heist, and it just did the exact opposite of what I thought was going to happen, because instead of doing prep missions, then some setups, and then some finales, we did the exact opposite. We did the majority of stuff in free roam, able to be done solo, in private sessions, without too much hassle, and you could just go do the finale with a friend or with a random, and you'll be fine. Now, obviously, if you're playing with randoms, then it's not going to be completely fine, but that's beside the point. You get what I'm saying. Either way, I have to say that the DLC has been a success for me, at least, because I personally think that the DLC is a lot of fun. There's a lot of different things you can do with it, the different approaches, and while if you're going to be blunt about it, they're practically the same, it still is different enough for me to feel different, and you're actually having a interesting different type of gameplay rather than just doing the exact same finale, like for example in PAX Standard, where you will just do the certain amount of steps so you are certain of success. With this one, while some stuff can feel a little bit more on the buggy side, especially the silent and sneaky approach with the sometimes questionable ways of how enemies are spawning you, and sometimes the late spawn if you go through the staff lobby for the elite challenge. While that's annoying, I feel it is a minor thing in the grand scheme of things, because I feel that for me personally, the Casino Heist DLC has really given a new sort of life, a new breath of fresh air to the game for me as someone who has been playing the game as much as I have. And from what I could tell, there's a lot of people out there who are feeling the exact same thing as I am, which is pretty great to be seeing, to be honest, because even after 6 years of this game being out and still seeing people rejoice to come back to a DLC as much as they probably have, and it'll be very interesting to see how many people have actually played the game and if it broke even more records than the Casino DLC did, because like I was personally not too fussed about the Casino DLC, and I think I haven't really been able to enjoy a DLC and make it feel fresh and find new things and all that stuff after 2 weeks in a very long time with a GTA Online DLC. Probably since Doomsday, really. The different approaches that you can do, whether it's big or small, there's always something that you can do that is different. Whether it's your getaway car, or your weapon loadout, or your approach in terms of what entry disguise you have in the big con heist. And yes, maintenance and young ancestor are essentially the same thing, but at the same time, it feels different enough. It's also, for me personally, a lot about the vibe that it's giving. Like the big con heist, sure, you can go for the Group of X approach and just sneak in and out without being seen. And that's great, like that's a fun approach, especially a very profitable one. But my personal favorite is definitely going to be Silent and Sneaky, because if you manage to complete it without any hassle, it just feels very satisfying. And sure, the loud approach, you just want to go in guns blazing for once and see how much you can walk away with and not try to get shot too much. It's a different kind of variation of, I guess, the same thing you're doing, but to me, it always just feels different enough. And especially if you're trying to have some fun with it, you can, for example, decide to get a really crappy getaway car. Hell, go and try to escape 5 stars of cops with a bike. It's all possible. There's a sense of freedom and a sense of choice within the way you can approach these missions. There's no real restrictions to it, which is quite refreshing to see in terms of what you could do and all that stuff in the game itself. Sure, the most obvious approach would be to use your Mark II oppressor, but you can also decide, you know what, I'm gonna use my gargoyle to get over there. I'm gonna use like some car I haven't used for a little while. I'll use a hunter again for once. Like, because you're in free roam, you have your ability to use all those vehicles that you would normally not use within like a heist kind of perspective, because they're more than likely restricted for you to use. But the big question for me is, now what? Because after a DLC like this, what is going to be the next DLC? Is it going to be a smaller DLC again like we usually have in March, or do we have to wait all the way until July again like we did this year? It really makes me wonder what exactly Rockstar is planning on doing. I mean, the most obvious choice seems to be that you just keep pumping out GTA Online DLCs until GTA 6 eventually rolls around, but that's probably going to be a little while until we're going to see that game. Trying to do it with Red Dead Online, I mean, let's be honest about that one. That Moonshiners DLC was not exactly a hit. If I'm speaking from my own personal experience, I don't really have an awful lot of good to say about the game currently because of the way the Moonshiners DLC was handled. It broke the game even further, the loading screen issues and just all sorts of stuff, and it really just put me off playing the game, which is a little sad to say because Red Dead Online still has potential, and obviously since it's primarily GTA Online video, I'll not touch on it too much because it's kind of beating a dead horse at this point. No pun intended, of course. But I really think that GTA Online's Casino Heist DLC has been a really successful update, and I really think that it was something that was really needed within the game because it's something fresh and something new, and obviously Heist DLC is always something people are particularly interested in, so it's something that Rockstar probably also knows that they should maybe even do more of. But having too much Heist DLC will probably be like a bit oversaturated, I guess, so they have to find a way to balance it. But hopefully sometime in the near future we'll get maybe some additions to this. Obviously we still have the supposed diamonds coming to us as well, but a lot of people are, I think, for what I could tell, are expecting it to be completely different. But the only thing that's going to change really is the stuff that you're going to pick up, and it's going to be worth more. So interested to see what that's going to be all about. I will let you know if there is more about that, of course, as per usual. But let me know all your thoughts in the comments down below. Leave a like if you enjoyed, subscribe for more, and I'll see you all later.